You know that feeling, right? You get the promotion, you buy the new gadget, you post that perfect vacation photo, and for a second, you feel it. Happiness. But it never really lasts, does it? The chase just starts all over again. Well, what if we've been looking in all the wrong places? What if true, lasting joy has actually been inside us this whole time? Let's explore that very idea, using the profound wisdom of a revered spiritual master. So our guide for this explainer is the great sage Kanchi Mahaperyava. His teachings, which have been beautifully captured in a 7-volume collection called Voice of God, offer this incredibly powerful and timeless look at the human condition and our endless search for meaning. And this is the core challenge he puts to every single one of us. What if our entire search for happiness, in things, in relationships, in achievements, is just fundamentally flawed? It's a huge idea, and it kind of turns everything we think we know on its head. So let's break it down. First, we're going to talk about the unwinnable race that we're all running. Then, we'll uncover this core illusion that fuels both our joy and our pain. After that, we'll find the hidden wellspring of bliss that's actually inside you, figure out how to unlock it, and finally, map out the path to a peace that can truly last. All right, let's jump into that first point, the unwinnable race. Why does happiness always feel so fleeting? Well, according to this wisdom, the entire problem really starts with our relationship to desire itself. Okay, so here's the crucial insight. Our lives are just filled with endless wants. But here's the catch. Everything we desire is, by its very nature, temporary. It will either leave us or we will eventually leave it. The teaching is that each one of these desires acts like a stake, basically tying our well-being to something impermanent, and that pretty much guarantees we're going to feel sorrow later. The logic is as simple as it is powerful. If you want to reduce sorrow, you've got to reduce the number of stakes. Okay, that makes sense. But if external things don't bring happiness, why does it feel so good when we get them? Well, the answer is all about pinpointing the real source of that feeling, which brings us to our second point, the illusion of mine. So just imagine a farmer. He owns a piece of land, and he's absolutely overjoyed when it produces this massive, beautiful harvest. He feels a deep sense of happiness, of pride. But then, he sells the land. The very next year, that exact same field produces an even bigger harvest for its new owner. Now, when the old farmer sees it, does he feel joy? No way. He feels jealousy and regret. The harvest is the same, so what changed? The source of his emotion was never the harvest itself. It was the feeling that it was mine. As soon as that connection was gone, the joy vanished right along with it. The huge takeaway here? It's the attachment, not the object, that creates our emotional state. It's why we obsess over my likes on a photo, not just the photo itself, right? And here's another really powerful example. A loving father is completely devastated if his son suffers, because that bond of my son means he shares in that suffering. But now think about an estranged father who's disowned that same son. If he hears his son is suffering, he might actually feel a sense of satisfaction, like it's deserved. Same people, totally opposite reactions. The only thing that changed was that feeling of mine. So, if happiness doesn't really come from the outside world, from all the things we label as mine, then logic tells us there's only one other place to look: inside. And this brings us to this amazing central concept, the true self, or what's known as the Atman. The teaching here is that your fundamental nature isn't flawed or lacking anything. At your very core, you are pure bliss, Anandam. It's not something you have to go out and find or achieve. It's what you already are. It's just covered up by this veil of worldly illusion, our attachments and desires, which is known as Maya. I just love this metaphor. Think of worldly life as a bitter curry. It's often full of challenges and suffering, right? And yet, even within that bitterness, all of us experience these little moments of sweetness and joy. So where does that sweetness come from? According to this wisdom, it comes from you. It's a little taste of your own true nature, just flavoring an otherwise bitter experience. To help you visualize this, imagine your true self is this brilliant, powerful lamp, an infinite source of light and bliss. But that lamp is covered by a big clay pot. That pot is Maya, the illusion of our ego and our desires. Now, this pot isn't solid. It has tiny little holes in it, and those are our senses. The moments of happiness that we experience in the world, they're just small rays of our own inner light escaping through these holes. We mistakenly think the light is coming from the outside, but what we're actually doing is just catching glimpses of our own infinite inner brilliance.
So, if we're this infinite source of bliss that's just covered by a pot, the next logical question has to be, how in the world do we break the pot?
The path that's laid out is actually really clear and direct. First, you systematically reduce your desires. You pull up those stakes that are tying you to sorrow. This leads right to the second step, controlling the mind. See, when the mind isn't constantly chasing after desires, it becomes still. And in that stillness, you can finally experience your true natural state of infinite bliss.
And it is so crucial to understand this. Controlling the mind doesn't mean becoming passive or weak. It is the exact opposite. All the mental energy we normally scatter across 1,000 different wants and worries gets consolidated. Think of it like damming up countless little streams to create one single powerful river. This is a path to immense inner strength.
And that brings us to the final, absolutely incredible potential of this entire journey. What happens when that pot is finally broken for good?
When that illusion of Maya is completely shattered, we don't just feel bliss, we become it. The distinction between ourselves and that inner lamp just disappears. We realize our true nature as a being of blissful light, no longer limited by the tiny holes of our senses, but just shining fully.
So, this wisdom really leaves us with a powerful question to reflect on. What attachments, what desires, what ideas of mine are making up the pot that's currently covering your inner light?
If this journey inward resonated with you, and you'd like to explore more big ideas just like this one, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.